Welcome back to Good Day Chicago. At 9 o'clock, here's a look at some of the stories we're following this morning.
And still talking about this right now, crews are working to remove a truck dangling off a ramp that's causing traffic to pile up on the Eisenhower. And we're live here in a second with the latest.
Plus, a plane goes down in Lake County. What we're hearing from neighbors who saw this incident play out in real time.
And the Chicago Wolves are preparing for St. Patrick's Day.
Full day.
Join us to talk about the big game this weekend and a special auction for a good cause.
Okay, but first, let's take a live look outside as we check in with Caitlin for a look at the forecast. Every time I see the camera, I'm expecting it to change, but
I know
it stayed the same all morning.
This morning, I texted Kaplan first thing and said, hey, send me a picture of that visibility map. It's quite froggy outside. We do have dense fog in place and a dense fog advisory until 3 p.m. because of that. Temperatures, though, they're not bad. Right now, we're hovering around the upper 30s and low 40s in most spots. I do see a 44 in Kankakee to Joliet, but it's 40 degrees at O'Hare and 39 at the lakefront. With the clouds in place, you might see some mist or drizzle out there. Northwest Indiana, we have seen some scattered showers, but here's that dense fog advisory, as I did just mention, until 3 p.m. We'll see if this expires early. But checking in on these numbers, slow improvement is happening. We're seeing a half-mile visibility still in Joliet and in Morris, 3/4 of a mile at LaSalle, less than a quarter mile in Waukegan, and 1.5 from O'Hare to 3.2 at the lakefront. So we have widespread fog this morning. Satellite and radar, here's the big picture. That scattered rain, as mentioned, in northwest Indiana is slowly departing, although we could see some mist or drizzle around, especially the first half of the day today. It's just kind of a blah start to our day. Closer look at the radar does show again most of the showers happening now in LaPorte County, starting to move out of Porter County. But here's our future cast. Temperatures are going to be hovering in the 40s for us in Chicago, Southwest. I'm talking about Grundy County, LaSalle County. You are expected to reach into the 50s today. But we all have this good blanket of cloud cover over us throughout the day. Temperatures staying fairly stagnant tonight into early tomorrow. And then we have the chance for rain and thunderstorms. This is 7:30 tomorrow morning. So Friday morning, temperatures starting around 40 degrees for us in the city, but we do have some rain on the radar. We have a few rounds of rain and storms expected through the day tomorrow, but the temperatures will be phenomenal. This is 6:15, and we're hovering in the upper 60s to low 70s. As we move on into the evening and overnight Friday night, we have the chance for additional showers and thunderstorms, so make sure you stay tuned to the weather. We'll show you that full 7-day forecast ahead.
Thank you, Caitlin. All right, let's get back to that truck crash that is shutting down the inbound side of the Eisenhower.
Say has been out there tracking this for us all morning long. Say, what kind of progress have they made on kind of getting that truck out of the way?
Well, guys, I wish I had better news, but unfortunately, things have stayed pretty much the same since we got here at around 5:30 or 6 o'clock this morning. I'll step out of the way. Once again, these drivers who are on the Eisenhower right now have pretty much been stuck in stop-and-go traffic all morning. Right now, all eastbound lanes at I-290 are closed between St. Charles Road and I-294. So right now, for these drivers, traffic is being diverted at St. Charles Road. You can use Route 83 to the west of the Eisenhower to go south, or if you are in Elmhurst and you're going east, you can take Roosevelt Road. Also closed right now is Villette Street and Electric Avenue, as well as the Illinois Prairie Path in Elmhurst and Berkeley. I do want to give you a shot, though, of where that truck is. We know this crash happened just before 3 o'clock this morning. State police telling us about a jackknife semi-truck. They say the driver lost control and crashed through the temporary concrete barriers before coming to a stop on a new and unfinished part of the road. As we give you a look at this truck right now, we see there are some tow trucks. It's kind of an all hands on deck effort here. You can see cranes in the area, lots of people trying to make sure that they can get this truck back to the right position and, of course, open these roads back up for drivers. Right now, again, that truck is still hanging from the Eisenhower Expressway overpass. We also know the truck was carrying over 40,000 pounds of plastic. It is not considered a hazmat situation, and thankfully, this could have been a lot worse. There have been no injuries reported in this crash. A quick look at the Illinois Tollway website shows the area where that truck crashed and rolled over is actually under construction right now. It's part of a long-term project on the I-290, I-88 interchange. And you can imagine, this project alone has already caused headaches for drivers with, certain closures and delays just related to that project alone. Back here, though, where we are at, overlooking the Eisenhower, drivers once again still stuck in that stop-and-go traffic. They are now having to reroute. Once again, again, all eastbound lanes at I-290 are closed still between St. Charles Road and I-294. There are alternate routes, and there's a lot of, I've noticed, law enforcement presence as well, probably helping these drivers kind of reroute and also make sure that things are good to go as they are stuck in that stop-and-go traffic. We do know from Elmhurst Police that this is going to be kind of something that lasts all morning, right? They're making sure that they can get this truck in the right position. They described it as this truck being in a very precarious position. So once again, all hands on deck effort. I see that just ahead of me. These closures are expected to last at least the next few hours. Guys.
Ugh, wow.
And I'm looking at some of the maps. It looks like traffic on the inbound side is starting like North Avenue. So if you can get ahead of it, I would just get off at North Avenue, find your way back onto the Eisenhower or onto the Tri-State. Thank you, Say, for that report.
As she pointed out, that is just an awful area for the past couple of years with the construction there. I go through there every once in a while, and it's always a kind of a white-knuckle ride.
Especially overnight, the lane changes, etc. But we also want to talk about this breaking news this morning. The NTSB is investigating a plane crash. It happened in Lake County.
Yeah, the crash site is actually behind those townhomes in a wooded area. This is off of Swallow Street in Deerfield. The FAA says the plane took off from Madison, Wisconsin and went down last night around 9:40. The Cessna was headed to Chicago Executive Airport in Wheeling. Police say the pilot was the only person on board and was killed.
We saw the lights sort of coming in, and then we started hearing the trees, like the tops of the trees getting hit. And then we just saw it come in and then go straight down. And we knew it was a plane crash right away, so we ran over there. We tried to knock on the doors of the neighbors to make sure they were okay, and then we tried to check on the pilot, but the cockpit was destroyed. And all we could see was a phone and a jacket.
Amazingly, no one on the ground was hurt. The name of the pilot who was killed has not yet been released.
With the U.S. and Israel strikes across Iran intensifying, President Donald Trump says the military missions are going as planned. The White House is now reportedly considering arming Kurdish opposition groups to help the people of Iran rise up against their government. But for now, the focus remains on destroying Iran's nuclear and ballistic assets.
If we didn't hit within 2 weeks, they would have had a nuclear weapon. If we didn't do the B-2 attack a number of months ago, they would have a nuclear weapon. And when crazy people have nuclear weapons, bad things happen.
Secretary of War Pete Hegseth is planning to visit CENTCOM headquarters in Florida later today. The White House says that there are no plans at this time for any U.S. boots on the ground in Iran, but President Trump has not ruled it out.
Meanwhile, we're learning the names of 2 more U.S. soldiers who died in the Kuwait attack. The Pentagon says they are 45-year-old Major Jeffrey O'Brien, he's seen to the left there, and 54-year-old Chief Warrant Officer 3, Robert Marzin. A total of 6 U.S. service members have been killed in this conflict thus far. And on Capitol Hill, the lawmakers will make another attempt today to limit the president's war powers.
On Capitol Hill, lawmakers are going to make that attempt to limit the war powers. It's expected to fail, though, just like Wednesday's attempt in the Senate. The resolution was written to give lawmakers a chance to demand congressional approval before any military attacks take place. It was more of a symbolic resolution, as President Trump would have almost certainly vetoed it.
And this morning, Cook County prosecutors, they're dropping nearly 24 cases fighting against protesters at the ICE processing facility in Broadview. Chicago Tribune reports that the cases include the 15 mobs who hopped barriers around the facility last fall. Between October and November, authorities arrested more than 100 people outside the ICE center, mostly for obstructing and resisting. Time is now 9:08 this morning. Well, tomorrow, the life and legacy of the late Reverend Jesse Jackson will be on full display.
This is one of 2 events planned this weekend. Doors at the House of Hope open tomorrow at 9 a.m. and the program set to start at 11.
The service is open to everyone, and you're encouraged to get there early, that's for sure. That's in part because of the guest list, too. Former Presidents Barack Obama, Joe Biden, and Bill Clinton will attend tomorrow's service in Chicago. The Jackson family also reportedly invited President Trump and former President George W. Bush, but it's not clear if they'll be there. Singer Jennifer Hudson is expected to perform, and Mayor Brandon Johnson and Governor J.B. Pritzker are scheduled to speak.
We have a lot of guests coming from around the world, not just here in the States, but Reverend Jackson had a career that touched far and wide. So we really are excited to celebrate with everyone.
Reverend Jackson died last month at the age of 84. After Friday's service, he will return to Rainbow Push on Saturday for a private homegoing service. Also breaking this morning, the NTSB is investigating, like we said, that plane crash in Lake County. A live press conference to discuss the incident is happening now. I'm going to let us listen in.
Very fortunate at this point, based on the preliminary damage, that there wasn't significant structural damage to the houses in the area or injuries to anybody on the ground. And the investigation may reveal that that's attributed to the pilot's actions before, unfortunately, crashing. Unfortunately, the pilot was pronounced deceased at the scene. The Lake County Coroner's Office responded last night. An autopsy is pending today. Right now, the FAA is on the ground inspecting the aircraft. We expect members of the NTSB to arrive early evening today. The FAA, NTSB, and the Lake County Sheriff's Office will work in collaboration to further the investigation, and it will ultimately be handled by federal authorities, specifically the NTSB, once they get on the ground. We anticipate this being an active scene through the evening hours, and that's where we're at right now. Any questions I am willing to take?
Just a clarification. You said, hi.
Hey.
Hey, good to see you.
You too.
You said Pewaukee. Is Pewaukee in Chicago executive?
Chicago executive, yeah. It used to be Pewaukee.
Sorry about that. I just want to make sure, because I said the same thing. They looked at me like I was crazy.
Yes, same airport.
The damage back there, we had heard from a couple of people that did go back there after the plane crash, that a couple of back patios were destroyed, there was a propeller and an air conditioning unit, and there was some roof damage. Is that about the extent of it?
Yes, so there were several, I would say 100 feet of a debris field leading up to where the aircraft actually was. It appears a wing struck a roof of a home, causing some damage, but not damage that would cause the building department to deem the building uninhabitable. So the residents were permitted to stay in their homes for the night. There were a couple of gas meters that were taken out during the crash. Nicor Gas responded to the scene here and immediately rendered those safe to prevent there being a gas leak or anything dangerous.
And you were just listening to an update on the investigation into that plane crash which happened in Lake County around 9:30 last night. The pilot in this crash was the only person on board and was killed in the crash there. As you were just hearing in that update, thankfully, no major damage done to anybody's homes in that area. We'll definitely continue to keep you updated. They just said the FAA and NTSB will be investigating to see exactly what made that plane crash in Lake County. Time is now 9:12 this morning on Good Day Chicago. We'll be right back.
9:15, welcome back. What started as one couple's dream in the 60s has become a legacy that spans more than 6 decades. Plody Construction has always had women in leadership, and during this Women's History Month, Heather Plody is joining us to talk about that tradition that is still well and alive today. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
All right, I love this. So your grandmother started it. It's truly a legacy, isn't it?
It really is. So my grandma and grandpa were both farmers. They came from farm families and just wanted to start their own business back in the day. And one thing went from dirt moving to asphalt to concrete to I can't even fathom or understand it still to this day. 62 years old this year.
And I can't wait to hear about some of the projects that you guys have been doing. But how hard was it for even your grandmother, sure your grandfather was involved too, to be taken seriously? Did she ever tell you any stories about kind of how that went, especially starting out the business?
I mean, it was always a hard thing. I mean, she was lucky. She had my grandfather, who was a huge partner, like he called her his baby doll. They were teammates together in this whole entire company and legacy that they built. And they had this like agreement. He was the field. He was out in the field, and she ran the office, the contracts, the accounting, all of it. They were a dynamic duo together.
A tight ship. You guys have done some great projects. Can you tell us about some that Plody's been involved in?
Yeah, we've been very fortunate. Actually, if you want to do history, my grandfather helped build 90 back in the it was the 50s when it was built.
Wow.
And then we got the opportunity. We won a few bids. We did over 60 miles of I-90 again in 2014, 2015, 2016. So the second and third generation got to help rebuild I-90 again after how many years that it had been around. So
Heather, that's amazing.
It's actually a fun full circle story.
So you're involved now, right?
Yes.
Tell us what inspired you to, get in on the family business and continue this trend.
So I came back from Florida college, and I was like, okay, I'm going to work in the business, figure my way out, and I kind of fell in love. I was the one who I said I would never work in the business, and like as I slowly started working, I fell in love with the people and
That's
everyone
you?
here.
Oh
Yeah,
my
that's me.
goodness,
Actually,
that is
that's
so
me.
cute.
I would say maybe 4 there.
Oh.
Yeah.
Just
Joke
peanut.
is, all photos, family photos, were in buckets, like the buckets of a loader. Like that was the MO for our family. But yeah, it was something I slowly fell in love with everyone and the people. That was the big part, is the people at that company.
Oh yeah.
That why I stay there to this day.
Of course. All right, going into school, you said you wanted to get into some kind of management.
Yeah.
Now it's somewhat construction management, right? Would you say?
Yeah, so my degree when I went to college was business and marketing, and then I came in as an admin. I had done work as an assistant to the estimating department, and then slowly kind of just spiraled. I worked with project management teams, became the DBE coordinator. I am now on committees in the industry to help advocate for DBE and woman and minority-owned, veteran-owned, all equality companies with the IRTBA. It's incredible.
Is it different now, Heather, or are there still some struggles for women in this field?
I'd say it's a lot different. There's still struggles. You still have a lot of, like that boomer generation was a big part. A lot of them are retiring now, but what you're seeing is this influx of the new generations of people coming in and advocating for women in these opportunities and these teammates who actually do help cheer you on and give you the opportunities.
So I guess for someone at home, because this is a great field to get into. It's not like we're going to be slowing down building anything around here, right? What would be your advice to a female at home who might consider getting into construction?
Say yes, go for it, full force. You don't be afraid. Always have your ears and eyes open. I think one of the biggest things I learned was you have 2 eyes, 2 ears, and 1 mouth. Listen, observe, look around you, see what's happening, and then go for it, because what's the worst that can happen? Someone says no. I think going to the beat of your own drum and going after all those things is what unlocks doors for you.
I love that. That is so well said. Heather, what do you see for the next 10, 20, 30 years of Plody?
Oh boy. So 3 out of the 4 kids in the 3rd generation are women, and we just want to continue the legacy for what Ray and Jan have done and help uphold it for all those next.
Thank you for sharing these beautiful pictures, because it just helps even tell the story even more, and seeing your smiling face as well. Heather Plody, thank you so much from Plody Construction. We appreciate you sharing your story with us. Stay with us. We'll be right back after this break.
sure and I approve this ad.
If it's Thursday, you know what it means. It's time to welcome our friends from Paws Chicago, here to tell us about an upcoming event or two and to introduce us to a new friend. My buddy, Paws volunteer Mark Lucas, is here with a genuine foghound.
Perfect for today.
Perfect for today. Who's barking at you? Who is this dog?
Well, this is like old times.
Yeah,
you and I haven't sat down in the chair in a long time.
Forever.
This is Sassy. You know, she's a 3-month-old. I don't know. Foghound is probably the best.
Foghound's the way to go.
We were talking before we went on camera. She's got the eyes of a shepherd, the body of a chihuahua, and the heart of a lion. You know, I think once Sassy gets adopted, she's going to go from sassy to classy. But right now, she is all sassy. Really sweet kid. Very energetic. Anybody who's looking for a pup that really likes to spend time in your lap. She's a big kisser. Loves.
Just how you like them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. Sorry, Lisa. That's how
Mrs. Lucas at home watching probably right now. And I don't think that Sassy's going to be that big, just judging by her paws there. We think maybe 30, 40-ish. What do you think?
I think if she tips the scale at 20, we've overfed her. She is, she's a tiny girl, and she's probably going to stay that way. I always put a little bandana on these guys, and she's too small for the bandana. So she's going to be maybe a great travel companion.
Good idea there. Good idea there. Should we talk about last week's dog yet?
Blow the horn.
Blow the horn, the tuba. Which was really, look at this, the woman who adopted Tuba?
Yes!
Thank
you.
Look at that beautiful doggy there.
A beautiful pair. I mean, what a great, happy situation. And that's what we love about coming.
And I know that Sassy is going to have a similar union with somebody here after her appearance here on the show. You got an adoption event coming up in Northbrook. Tell us more about that, where and when.
We do.
It's going to be in Northbrook, but it's a big town.
It's in Northbrook at the Marianos in Northbrook. It's at 784 Skokie Boulevard. We are going to bring some fresh baked puppies into the Frito aisle where everybody gets to smell like Fritos.
Nice.
It's going to be this Saturday from noon to 3. As always, when we have events like this, we want everybody to come out, the whole family. If you have a pet, a dog, bring them along, because it's important that you introduce the animal, and it's important that everybody that lives in the home come along, because you want to make sure that everybody's on board with the decision, because, you know, a pet's going to last a long time, and it's going to be a part of the family. So you want everyone on board with the care.
When we adopted Ramses from Paws many years ago, Mrs. C had to take our 2 dogs downtown to meet what was then Excalibur and make sure that they all got along. So that's an important part of the process.
And we're very well trained at making introductions. We will first meet your dog, talk to you about your animal, their likes, their dislikes, and also help you match up with, and these are puppies, so it's going to be easy peasy.
Good. This is the last month of Slice to Meet You. Give us the details. What can folks expect about that?
The final pizza drops next Sunday on the 15th. And it is, you know, Rick Bayless, famous.
What does he know about cooking?
Oh, my goodness, is that man incredible. So this is actually the Bayless family pizza. It's something that they've been enjoying at home for years.
Really?
Instead of a red sauce, it is going to be a tomatillo salsa base. And then we're talking about pepper jack pizza, or sorry, pepper jack cheese, goat cheese, bacon, red onions, and then once it comes out of the oven, it's dusted with pecorino romano, throw on some fresh cilantro, and then a couple thin slices of jalapenos for
just to add a little kick. How did you memorize all that stuff?
Because
I am
impressive, so hungry. But so what's great about these pizzas is they're only $35, and every purchase of this pizza is a $70 donation back to Paws Chicago. Rick.
Wow, he matches the.
Rick matches it. Pizza matches it. We've got some other donors. It's a really wonderful opportunity to raise money and, you know, save some crusts for the pups. And if you can't wait till next Sunday, we still have the Wiener Circle pizza going on, which is, I think, their smoked Polish sausage, grilled onions. It's like a hoagie pizza.
Wow.
But yeah, next Sunday, Peace Pizza, the Bayless family pizza. It is the way to go.
All right.
Maybe Sassy will be in a home by then and ready to
counting on that.
Lunch on some crust.
Counting on have a little crust. Look at that. You see, that's why.
Say thank you, Mr. Mike.
Give me the smoochie. Oh yeah. Mark is the nicest guy. Oh yes. You want to go home today? I bet you are going to go home with somebody today. Paws. Check them out. The big adoption event coming up there at Mariano's in Northbrook. That'll be this Saturday from noon until 3. Mark Lucas, always great to have you here.
Thank you for having us.
Miss Porter.
love being next to you, my friend.
We're going to be back with more of Good Day right after this.
The best
All right, still can't see too far out there, although visibilities in a few spots are coming up a little bit, but much of Chicagoland dealing with a dense fog advisory until 3 o'clock this afternoon. Very unusual, especially this time of year. March is usually a windy month, and that typically disperses some of that fog. But there's the view from Shedd Aquarium, looking back at the city. We've also had a little bit of drizzle, so the camera lens is kind of damp. 42 in O'Hare. It's not going to get much warmer than that there today. We have a north-northeast wind blowing at about 7 miles per hour, and it's just going to kind of lock in the moisture. Now, here's the deal. Today, you get far enough south and then west of the city, it's going to get warmer, maybe even some low 50s, but I think we're going to be stuck low to mid 40s for much of Chicagoland. The dense fog advisory for all the counties that border Lake Michigan and also DuPage County till 3 o'clock this afternoon. The remaining counties, including McHenry, Kane, Kendall, yours expires at noon. And they've actually canceled the dense fog advisories for some areas south of I-80 and the Kankakee River Valley. So your visibilities are improving, albeit slightly. At the major airports, it's not too terrible. 1 3/4 visibility at O'Hare. I really think the worst visibility all day going to be right there in Lake County, Illinois, just like yesterday, where we saw that fog linger a little bit longer. The heaviest rain closer to the Ohio River. There were a few showers in northwest Indiana, bona fide rain, gone. That said, it's damp. We have some drizzle out there, and it's just going to kind of stay wet, even though it doesn't really pour at all today. Cloud cover, fog locked in. And in fact, the fog will probably reform again tonight in areas that see the fog go away. Now, there are 2 rounds of showers and thunderstorms coming at least tomorrow. I think the first round comes in here during the morning, then moves out, maybe a spotty shower in the afternoon. Then the question is, tomorrow night, do we get another round of stronger thunderstorms? Our model, sees some showers, but the time of night that they're coming in, would be such that they would be weakening and not produce severe weather. On Saturday, we'll be drying out. It'll be blustery, and that'll also be the last day that we're on standard time. You'll see what I mean in a little bit. Today, kind of low 40s out there, dense fog, some drizzle, light rain shower. We'll have temperatures holding steady tonight with that fog out there. Then a couple rounds of showers and thunderstorms. We might get close to 70 tomorrow. It may end up more like 68 degrees, but there we go. Daylight saving time begins technically early Sunday morning. We lose an hour of sleep. Showers return to the forecast Tuesday and Wednesday, but they'll be liquid and not snow. Got one lovely photo to share with you from Johnny O'Hara, giving us a look at the early morning fog over Navy Pier. And Johnny, always like it when you go monochrome. But we have to talk about the color green, Brian.
Yes, because we got special St. Patrick's Day jerseys supporting autism awareness and Adopt a Dog Night. There's a lot happening this weekend at the Allstate Arena. Joining us this morning is Chicago Wolves President of Operations, Courtney Mahoney, to break down a packed weekend both on and off the ice. Thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
We got to start with these fantastic green jerseys, right? The team's going to be wearing these St. Patrick's Day jerseys this weekend to support autism awareness. Why was it so important for the club to support an organization and a cause like this?
You know, we take every opportunity to give back to charity, and Easter Seals, who's our partner in this, along with Jewel Osco, we've worked with them for almost 30 years on this endeavor. So while our games might not be conducive for kids on the spectrum and suffering from autism, we want to do our best to give back and raise as much money as possible. So the guys will wear the green jerseys. We'll do silent auction, blind auction, as much as we can to raise money for Easter Seals and autism awareness.
You mentioned that auction. Exactly how is that going to work if somebody watching at home wants to have one of these hanging up in their closet?
I love it. They should go to ChicagoWolves.com so you can, there's silent auction they can bid. The silent auction ends on Sunday at the end of second intermission, but we also have some guys that are wearing two different jerseys, so they'll wear one, like our captain Josiah Slavin will wear one on Saturday and one on Sunday, and then that auction ends. It's a blind auction, highest bid wins, and that ends on Monday at noon, and all that you can do online.
All that money going to a great cause.
You bet.
And this weekend, also at the arena, you got the Illinois State High School Championships happening there. What does that experience mean for these young kids to get to play on some professional ice?
We're super excited about it. We're privileged to host it, and we're going to treat it just like a Wolves game. We got our pyro, our lasers, and Wolf Head for intros. So Wayne Messmer singing the anthem. So it should be a really tremendous experience for them.
We just had Paul Chicago in Harris. We do every Thursday. You guys also have an Adopt a Dog Night and a coffee mug giveaway. It really feels like you guys are making this something for everybody, not just what's happening on the ice.
We are packing it in. So yes, we have our favorite program, which is our Adopt a Dog program on Saturday, which is we have Border Tales Rescue and Right Way Rescue who bring dogs. We have, yes, Daniel Ian Goodman has a mug giveaway. We have a bobblehead from Republic Bank. So it's just been, it's everything possible is happening, and hopefully some good hockey and very good entertainment for you.
You mentioned that bobblehead is from Juha Jaska. I think I got his name.
Yeah,
right.
it's impressive.
Had to practice.
Yeah.
Right? For viewers who maybe don't follow the team closely, tell us a little bit about him and why was he selected for this bobblehead?
He's had a rough year. He hasn't played this year, but he's very charming. He had a really great year with us last year, and unfortunately has had a really bad injury. But the bobblehead is super cool, so people like that. And again, our hockey, the team's playing really well, so there's many to watch. And then Juha will be your number one next year when he's playing again.
What time are the games this weekend?
Saturday at 7 and then Sunday at 3.
And you can watch both of those games over on Fox Plus this weekend. I got to get my hands on one of those jerseys. Courtney?
Yeah, maybe.
Thanks so much for your time.
Definitely a bobblehead. Thank you.
We'll be right back.
Chicago Plus.
All right, we have breaking news to share with you. Britney Spears was arrested last night in Southern California and booked early this morning. The Ventura County Sheriff's Office website did not list her charges, but there are reports that she was arrested for an alleged DUI. It is currently unclear what the singer's blood alcohol content level was at the time she was stopped or if any other substances were involved.
Well, if you've checked the weather lately, artificial intelligence may have played a role.
Not here, not here. Our chief meteorologist, Emily Walls, explains how AI could change the way we forecast the weather.
AI is not so quietly becoming one of the most powerful tools in today's society, and it's no different in the science community. Meteorologists rely on physics-based computer models to predict the weather, but major advances in AI could make those forecasts faster and even more accurate. Pedram Hassanzadeh is an associate professor of geophysical sciences and computational applied math at the University of Chicago. In 2017, Hassanzadeh began researching AI, particularly deep learning, to investigate how AI models can be used to improve weather climate prediction. He calls AI the second revolution in weather forecasting.
It's completely changing how we do weather forecasts, right? Rather than solving some equations on a computer, we are just using data with a neural network, right? But doing this, you actually get better accuracy, and everything is much cheaper, much faster.
As it stands now, the limit of predictability with the commonly used physics-based models is around 8 days. Hassanzadeh says the AI model expands the limit of predictability out to 9 days. That may not sound like much, just one extra day, but the real breakthrough is speed. These AI models can generate forecasts up to 100,000 times faster. So the advantage then becomes that you can generate many forecasts in the same amount of time. This shrinks the cone of uncertainty. So you may be wondering, is the need for human meteorologists going away?
I think actually now there is a higher demand for meteorologists and people who, that's what we are trying to do in this department. So we are trying to teach the students to, of course, still know the fundamentals, but also know AI and how this can come together, because I totally agree at the end of the day, to improve these models, even make better models, and also to properly use the current models, we certainly need experts to be in the loop.
Think of forecasting as a team sport.
Exactly. And, frankly, it has been like that for a long time, like even in, around Second World War, as I mentioned, when it was really mathematicians, computer scientists, and meteorologists who worked together to get things to work on the first computer to do weather forecasting. But I think now we are back to, again, we need computer science, stat, math, and meteorology to work together to make the best use of these AI models.
We also spoke to Alexander Wickner, an Eric and Wendy Schmidt AI and Science Fellow at the University of Chicago, who took a hybrid approach to predict the probability of extreme heat hitting Chicago.
One of the biggest benefits that I see for AI forecasting models is that they can be much more flexible in terms of the type of data that they can be trained on when compared to the type of data that you might be able to input into a physics-based model. So that not only gives them the capability to perform very good global forecasts, but it also means that they can potentially be tailored to produce very good forecasts in specific regions or for specific use cases where people might have certain types of data that they might not have been able to use before, but that can be used by an AI model to produce good forecasts.
Weather impacts just about everything and everyone. Hassanzadeh's latest research efforts have been to help farmers in India to be able to track monsoons using AI. A good weather forecast is also crucial to things like aviation, shipping, and public safety. The latest developments in AI could help forecasts become not just faster, but more useful. And for those of you who may be wary,
so I would say that in terms of the metrics of accuracy that we've been largely using to evaluate weather forecasting, AI models have already shown that they can match or improve upon the accuracy of physics-based models. That's not to say that there aren't some potential risks in using these models. We do need to keep this problem of potential gray swan events that the models may not have seen during training in the back of our heads, that if we're trying to use them to predict extreme weather, we should still be balancing what they see with a physics-based model, because the AI model might miss something. But overall, for most everyday weather forecasting tasks, these models seem to be doing very well, and they're likely going to be more and more incorporated into our forecasts going forward.
Mike, we were just talking during Emily's story, which was great, by the way, how this doesn't necessarily change your workflow, but it makes your workflow a little bit faster.
Yeah, I used an analogy here. Back in the old days, if we wanted to take a photograph of something, you'd take the picture, then you'd have to take the film to the shop, wait a while for that to get developed. Similar thing with monitoring the atmosphere. We're able to use satellite technology, radar, weather balloons, feed all that data into computers, which generate some helpful forecast information. That takes time. The AI radically, by I think 100,000 times faster.
Wow.
Can generate that. So we'll get the information that much more quickly into our system, which then hopefully will enable us to, improve the accuracy of the forecast. But I'm still throwing the dart at the board.
Yeah,
to decide.
I've seen you do it.
Exactly.
Every morning.
It's old school. It's old school.
Just think about how much more weather forecasting is going to change in the next 15 years, Mike.
You aren't kidding. You aren't kidding. And, the whole goal here is to provide better information, particularly when we have threatening weather in place.
We had some really bad storms last spring, so having this technology can help get that information out to our viewers even faster.
Absolutely. Illinois has led or been in second place in the entire nation in tornadoes in the past 2 years. So we got to be weather ready here. So anything that we can do to help that situation is welcomed.
All right.
Technology, it's changing really fast. Jake Hamilton is at a place where some really fast cars are around. Jake, did you check the prices? Have you found the most expensive?
Well, you know what's kind of interesting, guys? Take a look at this. The sticker price on this beauty right there, at least back in the day, just a little over $4,600. Safe to say it's changed a little bit, but that's what, this ticket will give you a look at all of these beauties. We are live at the Donald E. Stephens Convention Center for the Chicago World of Wheels. We'll tell you everything you need to know when Good Day Chicago returns.
This is
All new Wednesdays on Fox.
Welcome back. Jake is feeling pretty driven for today's segment.
I see what you did there. World of Wheels, back at the Donald E. Stevens Convention Center in Rosemont.
So, of course, Jake volunteered to head over there to give us a preview. They got some sweet rides out there, Jake.
That's right, guys. Listen, the word art is subjective, right? For some people, you go to a museum and you look at a painting and you say that is art. For myself, I look at some of the things they have out here at the Chicago World of Wheels and I say this is art, and it's going to be out here all weekend long. Kicks off tomorrow, runs through Sunday, and we want to talk with some of the folks responsible for what I like to call art. Larry and Lori, guys, really quick, taking a look behind you guys, this is just, I mean, I keep saying it, it's a work of art. Tell us, what's the story behind this?
Well, I fell in love with this beauty about 61 years.
No, we're not talking about Lori. We're talking about the car.
Well, she comes a little bit later, but
so the car came first.
The car came first.
Fair
Sorry.
enough.
Sorry, Lori.
Yeah. But I mean, Lori, this thing is absolutely beautiful. So this is, I mean, did you guys have a history? I mean, like it wasn't always a showcase car. Did you guys actually get to enjoy it?
No, we got to build it. When we originally bought it, it was white. And we changed it into Evening Orchid, which is a one-year-only color in 1965.
When did you guys first start putting it together?
Well, we bought the car about 5.5 years ago and brought it back to Minnesota. And we got it from near Tulsa, Oklahoma, just an incredible rust-free car. And we brought it back to Minnesota and started a 4-year Resto-Mod project on it.
And it's a 65, right?
It's a 65.
So how difficult is it, you know, when you need this random piece to complete the process? Is it difficult to find the parts these days?
Go ahead. It's actually easier today than it was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
There seems to be
really?
more availability now with parts, but.
Now, how often did you guys get the chance to actually take it out on the road? Come on.
Not very often.
So what you're saying is we will all do that today. That's totally fine. I mean, whenever you see people coming out here to something like the World of Wheels, and obviously you've got it set up. I love what you guys did. You put the mirrors underneath the car so that people can really see the beauty from all angles. And you see people walk by and then they freeze. Is that the ultimate, like, we did something right?
Yes, absolutely. And it's fun to watch the eye of the woman.
What do you mean by that?
Well, they have a real liking to this color car, and it is, you can read their lips from a distance. Oh, wow. And that's when we really sit back and we go, we did this.
Honestly, they're probably saying a lot of words that we can't say on live television, whenever they see this. Guys, congratulations. Any advice for maybe a couple out there that's thinking of doing something like this? This feels like the ultimate project.
Well, I would say just if you've got a dream and a goal, get out there and find it and work it and hang on to it.
Hang on to it until you can afford it.
There you go.
Just keep it. Just go find it and keep it.
That's the biggest comment we hear is we had one and
we let it go.
Wished we had it back.
Yeah.
So.
Let it go. Well, I hate to let you guys go, but we got to toss to break, guys. Thank you for taking the time. I appreciate you. It is Chicago World of Wheels, worldofwheels.com. Grab a ticket. Kicks off tomorrow, runs through Sunday. Hundreds of cars out here, lots of stories, just like Larry and Lori's. You don't want to miss it, but for now, we got to roll on to break. We'll be right back.
always fight for you.
9:55, a lot coming up on Chicago Now, including how many Americans are worried about losing their credit card benefits over potential changes. We're going to be diving into that issue with an expert.
Yes, how much it's going to affect our wallets. We're also getting a visit from a couple of actors who have a new movie coming out, and I'm excited to speak with one of them because I grew to love this man and his performance in an Adam Sandler classic by the name of Billy Madison. So they are going to be here in studio. We're also checking in with our friends over at TMZ for the latest entertainment headlines coming out of Hollywood. Chicago Now starts in just a few moments. We hope to see you then.